What is up, guys? Welcome back to Superhumanity. Today we're going to be going over Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King, Bilquis Evely, and Matt Lopez. It's pretty unique. It's not like most comic books, and I want to talk about one of the differences and why I think it's such an important book, especially for our day and age. So let's get into it. Well, if you guys can't tell, I am a little sick right now, so hopefully my voice isn't too annoying in this video. And obviously moving forward, there will be spoilers for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and the movie is going to be based off of the book, so if you want to read it or watch it first, then you can do that. The movie doesn't come out till June though, so I would recommend watching this and then reading the book. It's so good. Let's get into it. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is the story of our titular character, Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, as she goes to a planet far away with a red sun so she can get drunk on her 21st birthday, because it's legal now. She ends up running into Ruthie, this young girl who is on a quest for revenge against Krem of the Yellow Hills, this assassin guy that killed Ruthie's father. Supergirl is initially pretty reluctant. She doesn't want to go on a revenge quest, but Krem ends up taking Supergirl's ship and shooting Crypto, the superdog, with a poison arrow. So needless to say, Supergirl gets pretty mad, and with Ruthie on a galactic public bus, they travel across the galaxy in search of Krem of the Yellow Hills. What ends up happening is Krem joins forces with a group of space pirate terrorists called the Brigands, and they go from planet to planet, civilization to civilization, just wiping people out, totally destroying entire planets, villages, and cultures, and it's really tragic. The book doesn't really shy away from how sad it actually is to experience so much loss. And while there are some amazing action pieces in the book, Supergirl has some awesome fights, especially towards the end. I think my favorite moments in the book are when Supergirl chooses to stay behind on a planet that's already been attacked by the Brigands and Krem and help the people heal. There's one instance where she helps this old guy dig a bunch of graves so that he can hold a proper funeral for his daughter. There's another moment when she stays with this guy who's just been totally mauled and can't walk, and she stays with him and feeds him and talks about his friend who passed away and who was killed in the attack, but she's able to sit there with him and go through that. There's another great moment where there's this giant alien who's just like, she has so much anger pent up inside and she can't get it out, but Supergirl volunteers herself as this invincible punching bag to take the brunt of the anger and help the other alien get it out of her system and start to finally be able to heal and get over it. And they're really touching moments. It's like unique stuff that you don't see in a lot of other comic books. And so I think what's so important about this, or one of the things that's so important, is the reason Supergirl is able to help these people heal in such meaningful ways is that probably more than anyone else, she actually knows what they're going through. Unlike Superman, who was sent away from Krypton as just a little baby, Kara witnessed the fall of Krypton. She saw it explode. Well, she was a teenager. Let me get into it. So she was a teenager when Krypton exploded, and it didn't just completely disintegrate. It turned into a bunch of floating chunks in space, and her city was on one of those chunks. And so, first of all, she witnessed the planet get destroyed, and everyone else who wasn't on that chunk, she never saw them again. And the chunk itself, the big rock that the city was on, was radiated by the explosion and became kryptonite and was slowly killing everyone living on the rock. So Supergirl is on this floating chunk of what used to be her planet, and she survives the kryptonite radiation, but she watches everyone around her slowly, one by one, start to get sick and die, until eventually her father Zor-El sends her away on a spaceship similar to the one that Superman was sent away in. So Supergirl is no stranger to grief or to loss. She's been through pretty much the worst thing anyone could go through. Maybe not the worst thing, but she watched her whole planet crumble and die. Superman has the tragedy in his past, yes, and he knows it's sad that the planet was gone, but he didn't actually know anybody there. He didn't have any relationships or friends. But Supergirl did. She had all those things. So it's wonderful to see Supergirl using that pain to help other people heal. And in a wonderful moment at the end of the story, she's able to teach Ruthie that revenge is not the way. They don't end up killing Krem at the end of the story. Violence more violence is not the answer to initial violence. You don't solve pain with bigger pain. And Tom King actually makes an interesting, I think, decision there. He has Krem banished to the Phantom Zone for like 300 years. So I think philosophically, it's still an argument for rehabilitation, but without making it seem cheap. Like it did take him 300 years to actually change and stop being an arrogant, evil assassin. But I think what's important in real life, when it comes to this story, is that when I think of the people who love me and the people that I love, like my friends, my family, especially my wife, I don't see them necessarily as Superman or Batman figures who, will see an oncoming tragedy and then prevent it from happening and save the day. But they're people who have sat with me when the tragedy has already happened. In my bad days, in my hard years, they're the people who have taken their own tragedies that are inside of them and used them to connect with me. And I like to think that I've been able to do that for other people. And I think that's Supergirl's most important power in this book. While flight and laser eyes and super strength are all very cool, her best power is her empathy. Her ability to be strong and connect with other people who are suffering. And that is something that we can all do, even if we can't fly. At the end of the day, bad things happen to good people. They always have and they always will. And I'm not going to say that in the moment of the tragedy, there's meaning or there's a bright side. I don't think there always is. I think some things are just plain bad. But we can become the bright side. When something bad happens to you, you don't have to leave it as exclusively something that was bad. You can take that pain and that scar and use it to connect to other people who are also suffering. And I know I'm oversimplifying this. Trauma and pain and loss are a big deal. And it's not nearly as short term as I'm making it seem, or as obviously the book can truly show. But I do think that while there's so much bad in the world, you, me, all of us, we can be the good. In spite of the bad, we can choose to be the good. And that is what Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, is trying to teach us. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you guys for watching. This was pretty off the cuff. I didn't write a script for this video or anything. I'm working on a couple big videos right now, big-ish, that should be out either next week or into next month. I'm pretty excited about what I'm working on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you're already subscribed. I'm about to get to 100 subs. Pretty cool. If you subscribe right now, you can say that you were there before 100. That's pretty big bragging rights if you ask me. But yeah, that's all I've got. Take care. Choose to be the good. And I'll see you guys later.